Hi everyone, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I'm doing my story a little early today because we're supposed to get a windstorm. And out here when we get windstorms, what happens a lot is a tree branch will blow down on a power line somewhere, and then we will lose our electricity. And if I lose the electricity, I can't post this, so I want to do it now. So, hope you're having a good day. We're still reading out of the story Mad Dog of Lobo Mountain. Remember that? So, and yesterday there was good news and there was bad news. The good news is DJ found Hero and he also found Roger. Roger's still alive, but I don't know for how much longer. So DJ just headed outside with part of the kerosene lamp, part that has the oil in it, and some matches. So let's see what happens, because I don't even know where that mad dog is. The one with rabies, you know. Chapter 11, Disaster in the Mountains. DJ bent low and ran hard towards the brush pile, his eyes searching the area where the strange dog had disappeared. The boy knew he was about to do something very dangerous with the lamp, something he would never do under ordinary circumstances. But he wasn't doing it for himself. What else could he do? He thought desperately, running hard on his toes to lessen the sound of his boots. That little boy'll die if I can't get out fast, and this is the only way I can think to do it. His thoughts snapped off as the strain as he saw the strange dog. The animal had been watching him, for it appeared suddenly at the edge of the undergrowth well beyond the brush pile to the southeast corner of the clearing. DJ slid to a stop, his heart trying to jump through his open mouth. His breath came in ragged sounds, partly from the excitation of running and partly from fear. The boy's skin crawled with goosebumps as he stood uncertainly for a minute. His eyes didn't leave the dog, but DJ's mind flickered down to the lamp and the matches, too far away to throw and be sure of hitting the brush pile. Besides, how would I light it? Better get out of here. DJ backed slowly towards the shack, watching the strange dog. It stood at the edge of the clearing, just in the line of brush and trees. The dog's manner was menacing, with its head down and its ears laid flat against its skull. Any minute, DJ thought, he'll charge me. But if I can get closer to the door, maybe I'll have a chance. The boy backed up steadily, wishing he'd thought to find a weapon. All he had was the lamp with its clear glass reservoir of kerosene. That would never stop the strange dog. If the dog moved towards him, DJ knew he could only run as hard as he could back to the shanty door. DJ was within 20 feet of the cabin door before the watchy dog moved. Silently, with his head down, the dog ran towards the boy. DJ turned and dashed madly towards the cabin. He shifted the lamp to his left hand with the matches and desperately twisted the doorknob. As the door opened, DJ leapt inside and slammed the door shut with his heel. He set the lamp and matches down on the floor and used both hands to jerk the wood box against the door. Then DJ collapsed against it, his heart thumping so hard he could feel the blood pounding in his ears. Have you ever heard that? Where it sounds like your heartbeat in your ears? Boom, 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 boom. A moment later, the strange dog hit the other side of the door. Hero launched himself in defense, barking shrilly and trying to get to the silent dog. DJ ordered, "No, Hero. It's okay. Down." The boy slid weakly against the door until his weight was on the wood box. Oh, Hero, DJ moaned, throwing his arms around the scroungy little mutt. It's really all my fault. I've tried to make up for it, but nothing's working out right. The little dog licked DJ's face and whined anxiously. His stub tail vibrated from side to side as he tried to comfort the boy, but DJ was too desperate and scared to be comforted. When the strange dog didn't hurl itself at the door a second time, DJ got up and walked to the window. The dog was not in sight. The boy crossed the deepening shadows of the tiny room to the other window. Nothing. DJ turned back to the door. He placed his ear against it and listened. Not a sound came from outside. He moved the woodbox slightly with his boot and eased the door open just a crack. The strange dog was cautiously approaching the trap set by the animal control officer. Please, DJ breathed. Let him go in. Let him get caught. The dog circled suspiciously, as a wild animal might have. The dog moved slowly around his nose, testing the air. He advanced cautiously towards the closed end of the trap, away from the open door. He smells the bait, DJ told Hero softly without taking his eyes from the crack of the door. He's getting closer. Now he's sniffing through the wire. He's reaching his nose out. Can't get the food through the wire, though. If he'd just go around to the door and go in, he's giving up. DJ closed the shanty door and sat down on the wood box. He started again to hug Hero. Then DJ's head jerked up as he remembered something. What was it the vet said about a rabbit animal could be dying of thirst and hunger, but can't eat if he can't close his jaws? But this dog's lower jaw isn't hanging loose. So that must mean he's not that in the advanced stages yet. He's not paralyzed, so he could eat. But he's confused or scared, so he won't go in that trap. The boy returned to the door and peeked out. The dog was again circling the trap, but not going near the open end, with the door standing high above it, ready to fall when the trigger was tripped. Maybe he doesn't like the dog food Mr. Wayman used for bait, DJ told Hero. Hey, the boy spun around. Maybe Mr. Schmickel has some special food for his dog. I'll bet you're starved, Hero. No telling how long you've been locked in here. I don't suppose it'd be wrong to use some of that dog food for you, huh? Let's see what we can find. DJ shoved the wood box into place again against the door and rapidly searched the cupboards by the wood-burning stove. His eyes skimmed past the canned goods, a sack of dry red beans and some pasta. The boy bent over and jerked open the small door under the cupboard. Here it is, Hero, a whole bag of dry dog food. You get some first, and then I'll see if I can fix that strange dog with something too. The boy found a pot and a little water in a pail by the door. You thirsty, Hero? There's not much water left, and there's no faucet in here. I'll tell you what, I'll mix the dog food first, and then you can drink what water is left, okay? The little hair puller whined and wiggled his stub tail as DJ poured the dog food into the pot and added the liquid. There's not much water, Hero, so it's going to be pretty dry, but maybe there's enough that it will do. DJ heard the thunder growling ominously louder as the storm approached from the southeast. Through the grimy window on that side, the boy could see the tall, stately evergreens at the edge of the clearing. They were silent and still. The boy scooped out a double handful of dog food and dropped it on the tabletop. He bent and placed the pot with the remaining food on the floor. Here, try this. Hero sniffed at the semi-dry food and took a mouthful. Then he gulped it ravenously. As DJ watched, an idea popped into his mind. Immediately, he stood and began kneading the mixture he'd left on the table. Then he rolled globs of dog food in his hands, as if he were making a snowball. He held the first one and looked at it. Should hold together in the air, he told himself. Let's see how many more I can make. When he had made several small bowls of semi-moist mixture, DJ wiped his hands on an old flour sack and looked down with satisfaction. Well, guess that's it, Hero. Let's see if my idea works. Hero finished eating and whined for more, but the boy ignored him. DJ was moving to the door. Through the crack, he could see the strange dog. He was lying some distance from the trap looking at it. He was really hungry, I guess. He's suspicious, too. Well, Hero, here goes, DJ said. He slowly slid the door open and stepped outside with a half dozen of the dog food balls. The strange dog's head swung around toward the boy. The dog did not rise. As he watched DJ take 2 steps from the door, he raised his right hand and threw the first ball. It went to the right. Too nervous, DJ told himself furiously. Got to get a hold of myself. Try again. The second ball went fairly straight, landing short of the trap, just before the trap. The dog did not move. His eyes stayed on DJ. He threw this third ball. Ah, good, he told himself aloud, right outside the door trap. But that old dog's not moving. Maybe if I can put one right by him. DJ took another step away from the shanty, leaned way back, and threw that ball as hard as he could. Pieces flew off in the air, but the main parts struck the strange dog in the shoulder. The boy leaped for the door and stepped inside, ready to slam it, but the strange dog did not chase him. Instead, he picked up the dog food ball that had hit him. He swallowed it and moved toward the other balls. In a moment, he stood outside the trap door, swallowing the last ball. Don't stop now, DJ whispered. Go inside. See what kind of food's in there. For a moment, the strange dog hesitated. Then he stuck his nose inside the open end of the trap. He sniffed so loudly that DJ could hear him. Just one more step, DJ whispered. Just one more. There, he did it. The strange dog stepped on the trigger. The spring-loaded door dropped hard, hitting the dog on his short tail. The dog leaped forward, then tried to run and turn, but it was too late. He's caught, DJ yelled, pulling open the door. He's caught. The strange dog was no longer silent. He seemed to roar with rage as he tore at the strong steel mesh. For a moment, DJ thought the dog was going to bite right through that wire. Maybe he'll tear up that trap, Hero, DJ said, turning around. But not before I can do something. The boy's mind twisted and turned with possibilities. Run to the camp and get help? Will Roger live long enough for me to do that? If I get caught in the storm, lightning can hit me. That dog will maybe get out of the trap if I wait. It was DJ's choice and his alone. Whatever he did was his responsibility, and there would be a severe penalty no matter what he did. But as he turned to look into the soft darkness of the lean-to where Roger Spinks lay dying in a diabetic coma, DJ made his decision. He ordered, "Stay, Hero, stay." DJ again grabbed up the lamp and the matches. He opened the door and sprinted towards the brush pile. He stopped, hurriedly unscrewed the lamp's wick and dropped it on the ground. He poured kerosene from the lamp onto the nearest part of the brush, leaving a 3-foot trail of liquid in the dry grass as a fuse. DJ lit one of the matches and touched it to the kerosene trail. Instantly, yellow flames leapt up. The boy jumped back as the fire reached the edge of the brush pile where he'd poured the kerosene. As the dry clippings began to snap and crackle, the boy opened the matchbox and threw it into the flames. Whoosh! In an instant, bright yellow fire leapt into the air, sending columns of brown and gray smoke toward the sky. DJ backed up in surprise. It was a lot more fire than he had imagined. Maybe I shouldn't have done it, he whispered as the fire boiled higher and higher. But there was no way of stopping it now. DJ lifted his eyes towards the Lobo Peak Fire Lookout Station. He could not see the tower where the couple kept watch, but he knew they should be able to see the smoke. Please, said the boy, see it now. DJ knew what happened when fire lookouts spotted smoke or flame. They pinpointed it with equipment and radioed in the exact location. In minutes, the Air Command of the California Forestry Service would be overhead in his plane to evaluate the situation. DJ figured they would see him in the clearing, frantically waving to them. They'd radio for aerial tankers to fly over and drop fire retardant chemicals on the flames. The air commander would also call for a helicopter. DJ would carry the unconscious boy outside where the chopper could pick him up and fly directly to the hospital. DJ hoped it wouldn't be too late for Roger. DJ's thoughts were interrupted by a soft sighing sound. He glanced up just as the tops of the southeast stand of evergreen trees bent from the first gust of wind from the advancing storm. Oh no. The wind's coming up, DJ cried. Oh no, not now. The first gust past the trees kicked up a dust devil at the southeast edge of the cleared area. The small cyclone-like mass of whirling dust and debris raced downwind across the open space towards the trees on the northwest side. A second gust of wind hit the boy's face. He felt his hair blown back away from his ears. DJ frantically turned back to the brush pile. It was roaring loudly and turning bright as the rising wind whipped through the dry branches and grass. Desperately, DJ looked around for a way to put out the fire. But now the gusts were settling down to a steady blow that made the treetops moan and the brush fire flare up even higher. The rising wind sucked up burning embers, those are like coals, that sailed up through the air and over DJ's head. As some landed in the open ground behind him, the boy was already running toward them. He stamped them out with his boots. But as the embers dissolved into smoke, the wind rose to a steady shriek. More embers sailed into the air, moving higher and faster than the first ones. They landed farther away, near the northwest stand of trees. Frantically, DJ dashed towards the scattered hot spots and again stomped frantically. In a moment, they were all out. DJ started to sigh with relief. Then he glanced towards the cabin. His heart nearly stopped. Burning embers from the brush pile had fallen on the dry pine needles on the roof. The cabin was on fire, with Hero and Roger inside. Whew. Well, that's the end of chapter 11. I will be reading to you again tomorrow, chapter 12. So let's hope that DJ can get them out. And let's hope the fire watch has spotted the fire. All right. Well, I just want to say I love you. I really do. But more importantly, God loves you, and He always will. So I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and in the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming.